before you change your diet, I want you to hear this. I have some things to share with you and some things that you have to consider in order to be successful. This video is for you if you are a woman over 40. I am Robin Nutritionist, and I work specifically with women over 40 to make sure that we thrive in this body and that we eat for our hormones. All right, let's get into it. Number one, before you make a shift to what you're eating, I want you to consider who you currently eat with, your friends, your family, your coworkers. If you are making a change and you're trying to do it alone, generally you'll be pulled right back into where you were when you were around those folks. Generally speaking, the 5 people that we're around the most, that's who we're going to eat like. And also, they say that's how our finances will also play out. So, whoever the 5 people are in your circle, if they're not making the change, then it'll be challenging for you to make the change. And that's real and serious. If you are cooking for your family and you're trying to make a change and your family's wanting something else, are you willing to make a different meal? Just think about that. You are not alone if unless you are with this change. Think about who is around you. Number one, I've seen it happen so many times where someone wants to change, or the people around them are not changing, and then they just get pulled right back in. So that's the first thing I want you to consider. The second thing I want you to consider is really who you are. When you're making a change to your diet, I want you to think about, are you an emotional eater or do you have a food addiction? Because if you're trying to make a change, but you have an emotional relationship with food, you eat when you're sad, you eat when you are bored, any emotion, but you go to food, if you're trying to make your shift in what you eat, but you haven't addressed the underlying challenge, then your success with this change may not be sustainable. You got to think about that. I've seen this so many times. And emotional eating is common. That has to be addressed when you're making a dietary shift. So think about that. The other thing I want you to do is to really, really be realistic. Realistic in this regard. So realistic about you're an emotional eater, realistic about who's around you, but realistic about the change you intend to make. I see people going, they say, I'm not going to have sugar for 90 days. Maybe you can do that. Or I'm not going to eat. It's sometimes it's too restrictive. Like I always say, and it depends on your personality, but do baby steps so that you can achieve that goal and move on to the next. So if you say, I'm going to change my diet, I'm going to eat healthy for 30 days, actually just can you eat healthy for 3 days or 5 days? Take it in baby steps and build on that so that it is realistic and sustainable for you. Because being too aggressive and too restrictive will just put you back. This whole eating thing, you got to do this for the rest of your life. And making a temporary change is just what people usually do, gives you temporary results. And then you go right back to who you were and what you were doing. So, what I like to do when I work with my customers or clients is to give them a roadmap based on now, and then we can expand and build on that. Okay. So being too restrictive and not realistic before you change your diet, you'll just take you back to where you are. And you see that people are up and down and yo-yoing and all those things. The other thing, and I am huge and big on this, is not designing this change to address your hormone. Listen, as a women over 40, we have to eat with intention. Really going to the store, picking our food and meals based on what's going to help support our estrogen and our progesterone and all these things going on in our body. In addition to the foods you like. So you like X, Y, and Z, you like some, red wine or some French fries or whatever the case may be. Okay, fine. But are you eating enough food to manage the food that will help you keep your estrogen intact? There's a whole strategy around that. And that's where I want to make sure that you have. Also, when we're eating for our hormones, it also changes our craving. It really does. And this is something that we're not told and we don't know. So if you are a woman over 40 and you're trying to make a shift in your diet and you're not conscious of and understanding what shift needs to be in alignment with your hormones, that too will derail your progress. And I know your question is, okay, well, tell me, how do I eat for my hormones? What do I need to eat? I don't know you. I do know the foods that support our estrogen. I do know the foods that support our progesterone. I do know that. And somewhere around probably on my YouTube channel, which by the way, if this information is useful, please like, hit the notification bell, subscribe, all of those things that have to be said in these YouTube streams. I've done videos about it over time. But if you really want more personalized attention and just a deeper dive, I encourage you to look into being a part of the necessary nutrition ecosystem. And in that, I first thing that we do is schedule a personalized nutrition and meal planning workshop with you so that we can create your roadmap, make sure that you're eating for nutritional value, make sure you're eating for your hormones, and making sure that you're getting to the goal that you want, but are also it's being strategic, really understanding what it is that you want to achieve and why, and helping you map it out. And sometimes you want things that aren't necessarily realistic for the life that we're living. Sometimes I have to tell the truth and say, yeah, you want XYZ. We are really not willing to do the things, but this is what we can do over time to get you to where you want to go. So, with that being said, I'm going to put the information in the description of how we can connect. And necessary nutrition is a whole ecosystem, it's a whole community. Your first step is to do your personalized nutrition workshop. But over the year, there is so much guidance and support to help support you so that you thrive and you feel good as a woman over 40. I am 50 years old and I feel good and I look good, but it didn't have to be this way. Food and nutrition is super powerful, and I want to make sure that you understand what you can do so that you can thrive in this chapter of your life. And that's all I want to say about that. All right. So I guess I want to say again, like, subscribe, share this video. If you have any questions for me, drop them in the comments and I will be sure to answer. And just take a look at the Necessary Nutrition community. And I look forward to connecting with you further. All right. Peace and blessings. Eat well, think well, and be well. This is Robin, nutritionist from Necessary Nutrition. Until we meet again, peace.